There's Khan here with the Paranoia up, looking to see whether he can deny this Rift Scuttler from Bang, as Beryl moves on in again. Looks like a rough situation here for KT as teleports come forward. Khan, though, goes down very, very low, has to flash the Sonic Wave as the Paranoia brings him all the way back in. First Blood will go over to the Lee Sin, though, as Showmaker is looking to try and tidy it up. Gets exhausted, though, and now Doran here at about half health. Showmaker having to defensively ult away, and it's a good fight for KT.
Really well done by KT there. And initially I was like, Blank, are you sure you want to do that, buddy? Because as you said, Beryl's there, Khan has the level 6 available, goes in on top of him. But in the end, it's KT that takes a favorable trade here. Super well played by Dove there, was able to pick up the ultimate from Akali, the perfect execution. And that combined with the lead that's been picked up by Noah in the bot lane, as well as Doran, who's actually having a really impressive laning phaser against Khan, puts KT in an early lead.
Yeah, it's really, really nicely done. And I like that you mentioned the bottom lane, because that lane state that KT created for themselves was so incredibly impactful. Because while all of this skirmishing is happening, and even if that was not exactly the greatest trade for KT, Noah is getting further and further ahead, based on the control that they had of that lane, and also gave the Tahm Kench the ability to roam. So really nice macro play from KT, no matter what had happened right here, which was also very good.
And as I said, it's Dove who makes it to the fight first. And yeah, sure, Blank dies, but this is a pre-6 rumble. It doesn't really matter. And then this is where the skirmishing power from the Lee Sin comes in yet again, right? Like in these longer skirmishes, I don't think that Diana has as much to offer. Sure, Blank dies, but he's able to do a lot of damage with Flame Spirit before he does. And then Doran and Dove come in, and both Lee Sin and Sidus love these river skirmishes where it's not a straight up fight, people are already low, you can come in, use your sustain, use the burst damage that you have, basically one rotation someone. It's optimistic, but I honestly, if KT want to snowball this game, I'm all there for it, because the Damwon Kia composition, while having like possible wombo combos, will also not have a great time contesting objectives if they don't see an opportunity, because they are so short range as well.
Yeah, and also the fact that Akali not online yet, right? Like the early laning phase of Akali is notoriously not great, and therefore this should allow KT to be able to get around and take what they want. And what they want is a Rift Herald, and they will not be contested. So Showmaker, you can see, laning very, very well, right? And being able to get all of the farm and things like that, but not going to have that advantage in those skirmishes like you were talking about, as Khan is just going to make Doran a little bit scared. But he's not, actually. He's just going to wander back, and everything's going to be A-okay.
And we don't know how this game is going to go, but I am happy to see KT play a proactive early game. They're not afraid, right? And it is Damwon Kia, so it doesn't matter what the game is going to be. Never going to count them out.
Okay, yep. Flash out here from Doran. Not going to be wasting any time with that one. So successful gank here from Canyon. And I think Khan was like pretty keen on giving it away, but still, the face check did happen.
But I don't think that's even worth it, because now, yes, Doran flashed, but I'm pretty sure they have a slow pushing wave here. They can set it up. Ghost has to be underneath his tower. They can just take the Drake here, and then it's a flash. And you get both early objectives, both the Infernal Drake as well as the Herald. I think you're really happy with that. This is risky, though.
Yep. Fear does come in. There's the safeguard to close distance, but Doran not in range. Duskbringer will get the extra movement speed, but Cripple's going to be there, and Doran not going to be able to find his way underneath the turret. Needed to land that Q in order to get the combo. And not going to happen. So KT, they're just going to grab themselves a bot side scuttle, and we'll see whether they do start off on that Drake.
Would quite like it, although now they're a little bit slower on it. Beryl has actually gotten the successful back in, but it's a post-6 rumble, so it's not something that you can do unless you really want to all-in commit here. And these are not insurmountable leads, but as I said before, I was afraid that KT, after their loss to Nongshim, was going to play a little bit scared, but that's not what's happening here. They're contesting very happily, they're making use of the priority that their lanes have given them, and, you know, we joke about making plays on Tahm Kench, but Harp has actually been all over the map.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I think we often see from supports in their debut game, because it's scary, right? To like leave your lane, leave your AD carry behind, but thus far, KT looking good.
Yeah, really nicely done, and they have to, right? Because this is a beautiful mid-game composition. They want to be playing around things like Rumble and Varus when they're spiking, and when you've got, you know, a champion that does get based on, you know, getting all of that magic pen as quickly as you possibly can, and those base damages like Rumble has always been the case, but Varus is no different with the fact that, you know, you just want to stack as many Dirks as you possibly can. And that is just going to continue to be good as we move throughout the mid-game. And I think the Damwon Kia want to be waiting until they can get these wombo situations when they can set up for these 5-on-5 big dives. And that hasn't really eventuated just yet when there's so much experience and gold to be picked up around this map.
And that's why I'm happy to see KT continuously look for these opportunities by going for the objectives, by being in a position to, you know, maybe you want to go come in and engage on those Damwon Kia, because while you can win 5v5 teamfights as KT, this composition definitely allows for it. I do think it's a lot harder. You don't have the best of CC to use your equalizers aggressively, right? The wombo combo potential in the enemy team combined with the vision denial and the cohesiveness of that composition is going to make it possible, but really hard. And this is Damwon Kia, right? Like, if you turn off the nameplate, you might be like, maybe, but like, we know how good the team fighting is. Without a doubt, you want to be in the best position that you can possibly get. A 2k gold lead is a great start. Maybe they can find some pressure on this turret. A first turret bot on top of Noah would make it a lot easier for them to also aggressively siege and pick up any subsequent objectives.
Yeah, and this has been beautiful map movement from Blank. Getting down here, making sure that they give all of this money over to Noah. Also put extra pressure onto Ghost and Beryl. And that is actually money avoided from Harp as well. So even better for KT. Really beautifully done. We've seen that one messed up a couple of times, you know, with people like Death's Cogmore not being able to pick up plate gold, but this time it has worked out nicely. Q is going to connect there from Canyon, but it looks like KT in position to fight back if they would like to. Mid lane control there for Dove, and Damwon here as a result are just going to back away. Fear lands onto Doran, but Miss Lee Sin having a great time towards the top side. A couple of waves in the lead, with Khan still trying to put together that stride breaker, and first mythic already done from Doran very, very nicely.
There was Rumble moving into the Dragon Pit, which is the Rumble equivalent of saying, I have the high ground now. You know, you really want to walk into this Dragon Pit towards me?
Yeah.
When I have Equalizer up? Not something that you can do. And there's also no objective, so happy that Damwon Kia go like, no, actually, that is not something that we want to do today. Have a very nice back, and good luck with any future endeavors. And I think this next Dragon Fight is going to tell us a lot about the state of the game. KT can just pick that up for free. It tells us the Damwon Kia, right? They haven't really hit their initial item spikes. We don't see Khan with a mythic yet. Showmaker still working towards his Ghost is. And I would be completely fine with them saying it's just a Cloud Drake, it's just a second one. I don't think they're going to contest this, which means KT can just keep picking stuff up. And that is where what I would like KT to play a little bit more forward. Maybe set up some vision. Maybe start slowly choking Damwon Kia out, set up dives, right? Because I think that if you don't do that, it's not going to look bad now, but you might run into issues 5-10 minutes from now.
Yeah, and also KT need to focus on what they need to improve on, right? Which is the consistency, which is being able to continue playing this level of control throughout the entire game and the entire series. So their last game one that we saw was absolutely fantastic, but we're looking to see more from them as the series goes on and as the game goes on as well, because they have a tendency to run out of ergs. Which is a technical term. I want to apologize by saying first mythic, because that's just straight up wrong. I said first mythic. As we've got a fight coming in here, Moonfall comes down, and this is the dive potential that we were talking about. It's a decent defensive equalizer, but Doran is going to be able to teleport in, and Noah is going to even out that trade. So jungle is dead on both sides of the map. We had a glimpse of what DK was capable of, though.
And that is the fear that's always going to be there for KT, is that can be anyone, right? If that's Noah, you're in real big trouble, and I'm really happy to see him continuously go forward here, even if you don't actually get the kill, just bullying them off the turret here and getting first turret blood on your on Noah would be so good. Like, I'm super happy to see this pressure, and this is actually, we talked about, this is the opening, right, that you have against Damwon Kia. Try to punish their bot lane.
Oh, there's the Zenith Blade. Couple of half-health members as the Shield of Daybreak held onto there, forcing the flash out from Noah. The flash forward from Beryl, wanting to get this one as they do overextend just a little bit, and in goes Dove. Beryl definitely dead, but Showmaker gonna make his way down. Flashes forward, finds the first ulti. Can he get the execute onto Harp? And Harp says no, he's just gonna back away as Dove is gonna do exactly the same thing, hijacks the perfect execution and uses it to get out.
And they got a little bit greedy there for the first turret bot, understandably, but do still need to respect. If Ghost has killer instinct there, I think that's a clean double for Damwon Kia, but they respect, know that it's been used before. However, now this Drake is getting picked up, but you will get the first turret blood on Doran here on the top side, which I think you're going to take that trade as KT. I don't think it's the only way you win is by getting these Drakes stacked up early, and if you can stack multiple Mountain Drakes against this Damwon key composition, it's going to make those late game team fights that we talked about, which are doable but hard with this composition, a lot easier.
Yeah, I think KT going to be pretty happy
This one
about
is
the
pretty
Mountain
funny.
Soul rolling. Is yeah, pops on over, Moon falls in.
And it's really interesting because you look at this play and you're like, we're happy about this, but actually, Damwon Kia pays really, really heavily for this because there's no killer instinct available, which means that they can play as far up here as they do, and they eventually give up first turret blood for this, right? Even though Doran, he picks up an extra kill, gets even more pressure in that lane. So when you look at the long-term effect, it's actually a pretty good outcome. Showmaker, never ever going to stop it. Really nice flash there as well, right? Just to make sure that you 100% get on top of that Varus. Also happy that Dove goes out there, and I'm really impressed with the level of control that KT are having in this early game.
This has definitely been an upgrade. This is not the KT that we saw, you know, especially in the first half of spring, right? So good to see they have got themselves together. I do want to commend Harp as well. Like, his exhaust was fantastic to try and make sure that they did buy as much time as possible. Just looking for as many opportunities to sing praises to a Tahm-Kench. You know, it can be difficult.
Yep.
But has been playing well. You can see Doran actually popping off here in this game so far. 1,300 in the lead. Head by about 20 CS as well. Gordrink online. Mysterix is looking like it's on the way as well. So this Lee Sin is going to be very, very powerful. If KT continue this way, they have moved to a 2.5k gold lead. And if this lead continues extending, it's going to be absolutely fantastic news. Stack up all those Mountain Drakes, be able to eat some of the engages coming through from Damwon Kia, and then continue to be better as it goes the Varus, and pop goes the Kai'Sa. Devour is going to be there. Paranoia feels a little bit silly as the Varus held onto for as long as possible, but inevitably is going to be going down. Double kill for Showmaker on the Akali, and if he gets going, which he already has, everything that I said that was good about KT kind of starts crumbling down.
And we talk about KT having a really controlled game, and they get a little bit greedy there. You don't need to kill Ghost there. It's completely fine to just poke him down aggressively, and now they might get caught on the re-engage again.
Yeah, pick for the disengage onto Khan as the Q's going to connect there. Doran having a flash away, maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself, but I do like the energy. Makes it out just fine.
Man, Doran so top laners can get POGs now. Like, I need to get in on this action. And this is the first, I think, big mistake that we see from this bottom lane. Knowing how dangerous the dive is, how long range it can be found, and how you have no vision on the top side. If you move a little bit forward there and you just throw a Q and a couple of autos, it's fine. But getting that kill doesn't really get you that much, right? It's enough with this composition to just bully Ghost away. That's all you need to do. Just hit an arrow or two and you're already there. And in the end, it's not the worst trade for Damwon Kia, but Showmaker getting more and more online is becoming increasingly problematic because he has so many people to enable them. And there we also saw Blank had to wait really long with this equalizer, and the moment he throws it down, everyone can just move off because there's nothing to keep them in place.
Yeah, this is the thing. I think we mentioned it before that Blank is going to be very, very important, but KT needs to wait until Damwon actually commits before that equalizer goes down. Because otherwise, equalizer goes down and then Damwon's like, all right, well, we should probably move from here. And so they press all of their in buttons and then the equalizer does nothing.
And herein lies the problem, because what happens when 4-0 Showmaker on Akali actually engages on you?
You lose the game, I think is kind of what happens.
The problem is the window for Blank is basically not there, because the moment Showmaker goes in, someone dies. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's never going to be good.
It's going to be Harp and whoever Harp has devoured. That's that's who dies.
And that is really the core issue, and that's why I've been very happy to praise KT, but also if you look at the state of this game, I'd still say it's Damwon Kia favor, just knowing how well this team is going to execute this composition and how thin the margins are for KT.
Yeah. And look, KT still has a lead, right?
They do.
It's shrunk by 200 gold. However, it feels a little bit like the Lee Sin versus Akali show, right? Doran has been dominating his lane. Whenever he gets into a skirmish, things look really good. But that value is going to get down lower as KT setting up for this 5 versus 5. And now This is Damwon's moment. This is where they want to really try and put it in as Beryl goes forward. There's the paranoia. Move forward to 3 is fantastic, but all the buttons were pressed, then the equalizer goes down. Ghost is already dead. Khan very, very low. Beryl still just in the back line, but the Varus was taken down, and now Showmaker trying to have a good time. Manages to ult out as in goes Dove, looking to put him down, and he does so. He might pay for it, but no, he's got a stopwatch, and now Canyon and Khan having to get out of there, and KT say no to Damwon Kia.
And a beautiful fight coming through from KT there, Atlas, because this is generally the fight where you'd expect them to get blown up. Kenyon finds, I think it was 3 or 4-man ultimate, and you're like, okay, this one's got to be over. But instead, they get the Drake, they're able to find a favorable team fight, and now their lead has actually grown to the point where it's getting more and more significant. And I want to see a replay because that was beautifully executed. Like the backline,
I was so excited about it. I was doing the analysis of the equalizer mid-team fight, which is something I should definitely not do. Note to myself, make sure you focus on the actual action, but it was so beautifully done from Blank, and we're going to see it right here.
And the engage starts on the Tom Kench, and when I see that, I'm like, okay, this is manageable. But then look at this ultimate from Canyon. This is where normally you'd be like, oh, this has got to be over. But that defensive ultimate, the Chains of Corruption, actually makes a part of Damwon Kia move back, combined with that equalizer that you so rightly got really excited about, makes it impossible to engage into. And this is exactly what KT need to do, because as we said, their composition, they know they're going to get dove on. It's how they play around that dive. And in this case, we saw them all retreat into the choke point, and that's where they excel. So this is looking really good.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. The equalizer didn't actually do a lot of damage, but it split Damwon Kia, and as soon as you do that to a comp that wants to pile in like this, they're not able to get that snowball team fight that they require, right? Based on, you know, what this dive composition does.
Blank still did the most damage in that fight.
Yeah, right? This Rumble is ridiculous. A 0-2 Rumble, by the way. Just doing way too much damage, as we might actually get a damage graph on our screen at some point, and we'll probably be able to see just how much work he's been able to do. And you mentioned how valuable these Mountain Drakes are going to be. If fight after fight like this goes the way of KT, it's only going to get better. However, I feel like there is still a clock against KT, right? I think that Showmaker is going to hit critical mass. I think that Khan being able to turn the lights off does give them a lot of utility options moving later into the game. And if Ghost gets too big, then he just ults onto Noah and Noah dies. So it's still about KT continuing this movement forward.
I'm happy to see the development of teams like KT, though, because there's something that I personally like to call the Afrika timer, which is like 20-25 minutes, when our bottom teams start to fall apart against the good teams, right? And Damwon Kia can still win this game, and I'd still be perfectly happy with what KT show us here, because I'm seeing super aggressive but still measured play from Dove and Doran. I'm seeing Noah and Harp find that synergy that they've been lacking for quite a while, honestly. And overall, KT showing that they know how to play the team composition. The one more combo is always going to remain terrifying, as I'm pretty sure. No,
it was Kenny. No. Kenny managed to take it. I was also thinking the piercing arrow might be able to do close to the 900 damage that Smite was going to be able to put down, but not quite there just yet. Prowler's Core online. We've got the Serrated Dirk number 2 in there, as the Manamune also completed here for Noah. See what he builds as item number 3, but the Varus getting quite powerful, especially in comparison to Ghost. A full item ahead is the Varus, and as you can see, still up quite a decent amount of CS, and 3-3 and 2 is no slouch. So the Varus is going to be able to keep control, and as you mentioned, Chains of Corruption also very, very powerful in these team fights post-dive.
Yeah, because I actually talked about how they don't really have CC to keep people on the equalizer. I guess a Chains of Corruption can be used in that way. It's just it's not as clean, you know, as a solo flare, but it's something.
This is aggressive. Khan's got teleport, and this Baron is not going down all that quickly. Chains of Corruption used defensively here onto Beryl. Misses the piercing arrows. In goes Canyon now, the kickback, and he goes gold. Paranoia into the backline as Ghost ulting in aggressively. Showmaker is going to join him. The Varus is dead, but Doran isn't. He flashes away as Dove is just popping off in this one. It's the Bash Bros in this Lee Sin and the Silas, and they destroy Damwon Kia.
Only Noah dies, and it's a sacrifice you're happy to take as KT. This is going to give them this Baron. This is also going to give them a subsequent Mountain Drake. And we kept waiting for the dive from Damwon. That might have been the final possibility of this dive actually working out, because now the gold lead, it's so big here, Atlas.
It's just ridiculous. I'm loving what we're seeing from Dove and Doran right now. Man, they are good. And actually, like we've seen Silas's pick multiple times, and we know that Silas, there's a lot of players that have been popping off on him in solo queue, but we haven't seen that success. And finally, Dove is showing it to us as Beryl oversteps, but you think that maybe the Wombo is going to be enough, and it just isn't.
I think there was another beautiful kick there from Doran to buy time, and this is now the second time I've seen this. It feels like while Damwon and Kia have a really good dive composition, they're not actually on the same page, because this is the second time that Canyon rather finds multiple people, and then just kind of nothing happens. Like Showmaker isn't immediately there, Khan is immediately there, and especially when you're this far behind, you need to be
equalizer,
cohesive.
Supercharger gets Ghost out of the way as Harp's going to lick him, but he's going to survive for the moment. Doran just searching for that Sonic Wave, but not able to find it. But now Ghost out of this one. Baroned up minions now piling down the mid lane, and they might be able to just break this because Damwon and Kia completely out of position. It's 13-7 in the kill score. We are moving towards that coveted 10,000 gold lead. Currently sitting at 8k as here's the paranoia. Damwon and Kia wanting to try and find this one as Canyon finds a 4-man moonfall as Ghost gets into the backline. Noah goes golden though, and now KT with the response. Ghost is going to be taken down first. Beryl second to fall as Dove is just massive, taking on all of the carries by himself. And KT, I think they're just going to finish it right here.
It's a clean ace!
Case, I don't know what they've been having for breakfast recently, but this change in diet, I want to know what it is because I'm going to need some. This is ridiculous. KT Rolster, it wasn't just the logo that changed, it's also the winning.
And my God, everyone in that game, honestly, everyone, Dove and Doran, beautiful performances on these two. Honestly, super, like, you can have such a wide range of performances on both the Lee and the Silas. You can feel like you're doing nothing or you can carry here. They were very clearly carrying. Harp with a, and I hate to say this, a great game on the Tom Kench. A beautiful debut game where he dies once, keeps his carry alive, and Noah, sure he keeps dying, but with this comp, it's completely understandable, and I am just so impressed with what we saw here out of KT.
Yeah, just outstanding. First time we've seen a Silas truly demonstrate his value here in the LCK as well. It came at the very last day of our first week, but we've heard, like, we know what Silas is capable of, but it's just so cool watching KT so expertly snowball this game. Because we had that moment, right? We had that KT moment where it hit around, 15 to 18 minutes, and we're like, okay, this is where the steam runs out. This is where Damwon are able to set up for their skirmishes and find it. And we saw that bottom river fight around the dragon, and I was just expecting the Damwon Kia show, right? Because we're so used to it. And KT were like, yeah, nah, mate, that ain't happening. That's not happening this time around. And you can see I know they're wearing masks, but I know that Hirai is smiling from ear to ear right now. You can see it in his eyes. Very, very proud of these players, and damn, KT Rolster doing it. I guess maybe